Now, whether you have a treaded tire or a slick, and in this case we've got a Bridgestone V01 slick, pressure is something that's going to be very dynamic during the day. And I don't mean cold to hot. There's various other things involved here. So let's run through this in a systematic way. So first of all, what's the temperature going to be for the day? So that has to have some bearing. If you're in spring and it's 38 degrees in the morning and 70 in the afternoon in Fahrenheit, that's a massive shift in temperature. It's also, when it's freezing cold, going to mean that you ride slower versus when it's 70 degrees, you'll ride faster. So given that, you should have a tire pressure for the morning and a tire pressure for when you start to ride faster. So there's the first caveat. The second one is, what's your ability? If you're screaming fast, then your tire pressure is going to be very unique to that track and that temperature, because your motorcycle suspension is set up for that speed. Anything less, the bike won't handle well, you won't put it under as much duress. Anything faster, well, there's other problems there in setup, which changes the size of the contact patch, which generates friction, which generates heat. So that's the second part. How fast are you going, how slow are you going? That's the next consideration. What compound do you have? Because if it's a hard-wearing compound, what pressure you're going to need to manage that contact patch to get enough heat into the tire to make it work. And then finally, what's the temperature range it should work at? Well, not all of us can afford infrareds and tire probes and tire engineers to come around and sample our tires, but everybody has a palm. No matter how hard you work with your hands, this is extremely sensitive. Yeah, ugly hands, but the middle works. So where do you check your tire temperature? This goes onto the drive portion of the tire and gets pushed flat. Now, tire warmers get tires up to 80C, 180F. I wonder why. That's interesting. Well, maybe that's because that's what's ideal for you when you're riding on track. Now, if you're too slow, you'll never get the temperature no matter what pressure you put in it. So then you have to think sensibly. You have to use some common sense. If you're getting 160 degrees in the tire, then you've got enough temperature for grip. However, if you put this on there and you have to instantly take it away because you're way over 100C or 200F, then the tire contact patch is too big and you're overheating. So, quick rule of thumb, easy, hand on. If it's nice and spoonable and cuddly, then it's not really hot. So taking 1 to 2 PSI out when hot might be helpful, but think about why you're doing that. Is it cold in the morning and is it going to get hotter in the afternoon, or was it warm in the morning and the cloud came in and the sun went away and the winds came up and everything cooled off? Keep a check using this. By all means use an infrared, and by all means use a probe if you can afford them. But bottom line is, hand on 1 second, maybe 2, and you've got to take it away, that's perfect. Now for those who are math oriented and can't do the subjective thing, on the warmers you should be gaining 4 PSI from cold, and on the track you should gain an additional 2 PSI off the warmers. If you don't gain any temperature, did you ride slowly? If you gained way more, then your tire's underinflated. So there's some common, easy things to think about in preparation for a day and manage your tire temperature during the day by managing contact patch size. Need more information? Go to the DM Tuning Tire app, and then go to Dave Moss Tuning on YouTube, where we have a ton of contact patch and 2 clicks out videos for you to watch on tires.
Be sure to check out the Dave Moss Tuning app for iOS and Android. There you'll find grundles and grundles of information on tires, suspension setup, and more.